Hey, what's up, everybody? Listen, if you have not heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. Number one, it's free. Yeah, I got your attention now, right? Number two, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Number three, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Number four, you can make money from your podcast. That's right. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum viewership. Number five, it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So right now, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. What's up, everybody? My name is Cliff, and you are listening to the What Now Podcast. That's right, the What Now Podcast, where we, through conversation, discuss ways that we can effectively address life's most difficult moments. So sit back, relax, and enjoy tonight's episode.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the What Now Podcast. My name is Clifton Pettyjohn, and for the sake of this podcast, you can just call me Cliff. What is the What Now Podcast? This is a conversation where we discuss effective ways of addressing life's most difficult situations. You might say, Cliff, you said that kind of slow. I did. Y'all, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, but I wanted to make sure that I got this out because I promised you guys I would get it out. So if I talk a little slow, if my speech seems a little slurred, understand it's just because it's late. I want to go to bed, but I want to get this out of me as well. All right? So welcome back. I thank each and every one of you for your support. Man, you guys are really listening to this podcast. I don't take that lightly at all. And I want to make sure I do everything to produce content that will continue to grab your attention while at the same time being authentically who I am. I don't want to give you guys any clickbait. I don't want to give you guys any false presentation. What you see is what you get, or perhaps what you hear is what you get. And tonight, I'm going to talk about a subject. I know people have been thinking it. Some have been bold enough to ask it. So I'm going to address it. And this is the only time I'm going to address it. And if anybody has any more questions, we can refer them to this specific episode of our podcast. So Ashley, what are we talking about? That's right, you already seen the title, all right? Why did you interview a porn star? That is what a lot of people have been thinking and asking me as well. And I really appreciate the people that have been bold enough to ask me versus the people who have assumed or have talked about it, behind my back and all of those great things. But here's what I want to say. I believe that everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. And one thing about my life that a lot of people may not know, and I've talked about this on another podcast that I did, and I talk about it all the time, teachings and whatever I'm doing, one-on-one conversations. I talk about it when I'm doing any form of public speaking. Some years back, I made a mistake. In the midst of making that mistake, it ended up resulting in a felony. And I always tell you, and I'm going to say this here, if you want to know exactly what the felony is, how about you just hit me up personally and we can talk about it. It's that simple. Don't try to assume what it is. Don't go to other people trying to find out what it is. Just come straight to me. I'll talk to you about it, okay? It was one of the worst decisions of my life, but yet the greatest lesson of my life, and God still used it for his glory. But anyway, so by definition of what people see me as, because of the decision that I made, a lot of people wouldn't take a chance on me. And rightfully so to a degree. I can understand that. I really can. But I am of a different breed. And I believe that we are greater than the last mistake that we made or the last decision that we made that may not be viewed as a great decision. So, when God blessed me with a platform, thanks to Miss Yvonne Mason on the Off the Chain Network, for those who don't know, I host two shows. One show is called Transformation Radio. The other show is called Transformation Radio 2.0. Check it out, www.cliftonpettyjohn.com. Go to my homepage, scroll down, you'll see Transformation Radio. Click on it. It's going to give you information about the show as well as former shows and information about upcoming shows. So I determined that when somebody took that chance on me, and I'm a product of people taking chances on me many times, when honestly, if you were going to look at it from the natural sense or from what you see or what you heard, I honestly may not have been, they honestly should not have taken a chance on me. I don't take that lightly. I take that as God strategically placing those individuals in my life to speak to the purpose that was in my life, even when I was attempting to disconnect from. So when the opportunity was given to me to have or to host Transformation Radio, that's what I started with. Okay, 2.0 became a spinoff. But when the opportunity was presented to me, I wanted to make sure that my show was like no other. So what I wanted to make sure that I did was that my guests were those who are considered the ne'er-do-wells, the outcasts, the black sheep of the family, or the black sheep of whatever, those who have been marginalized or ostracized for whatever reason, those who had a powerful story, but because of other things that have been connected to their life, someone has attempted to silence their voice. They have attempted to silence their voice, or them themselves have silenced their voice because they're still holding themselves hostage to some of the decisions that they make. That was the whole purpose of my show. I say we transform lives through purposeful conversation. The other show, Transformation 2.0, the focal point of that is that we embrace the uncomfortable conversations that are connected to purpose. And sometimes those uncomfortable conversations are decisions that we made when we were kind of backed into a wall or we were searching for something that we could not seem to find in all the places that we were searching for it. Therefore, we begin to search in places that may have been unproductive in our lives. But guess what? I don't care about any of that. You know why I don't care about any of that? Because all of that is a part of your story. So, as I said, I just wanted to reach those that nobody else will reach out to. Because why do I want to have the same people on that everybody else is having on, or the same type of people that everybody else is having on, or people who believe everything that I believe? Y'all, that bores me. That bores me. And I believe that if we are going to grow and learn and become more productive, then we need people that may not agree with everything we say, agree with everything we believe in. We need to have healthy conversations. Why? Because I believe that we can learn from each other. And I believe that in the midst of us learning from each other, then that helps not just empower us, but it empowers our community. And then from empowering our community, it empowers our state. And then from our state, it empowers our region. And then from our region, it empowers our country. And then from our country, it empowers the world. And some might not see it from that wide scope, but that's how I see it. I believe that all I need to do, the same way that somebody set my platform up, Miss Yvonne Mason came to me and she said, your message of transformation. I was a guest on her show. Her family was going through some things. The Lord used me to minister to her. I didn't know everything that was going on. We had one interview. She invited me back 2 months later for another interview. We prayed and all that great stuff together. But she ended up telling me some things that were going on that I didn't know. And she said, I want to talk to you about something. She said, your message of transformation from my book, from stagnation to transformation, she said, the world needs to hear that. Now, I didn't know this woman. I've never met her. To this day, I still haven't met her. She said, how about you host a show on my network on Blog Talk TV, Blog Talk Radio? She said, how about you host a show? And I was like, what? Nah, not me. You want me to host a show? And I struggled with it for months, guys, because it was out of my comfort zone. But finally, I embraced it because I understood the heaviness and the weight of the mandate. So here's what I'm going to say to this. Why did I interview the former, let's use that word former, and if he still was a porn star, that wouldn't matter to me if he has a story. And that young man has a powerful story. And if you are blinded by what he did in his past and the decisions he made in his past, and let me talk to some of y'all judgmental people as well. So, and let's hear what I'm saying, because I defend those that I stand with. If I stand with you, I'm rocking with you. I'm rocking with you. I don't care who doesn't like it, who won't support me, who won't come on my show because I chose to do that. Understand, if you won't do it, God will send me to the individuals that will come on and understand the opportunity that is presented to them. Man, that show reaches across the sea. I think it's like, I don't want to misquote, I'll get the numbers, but it's a big reach, because of her channel that she established and just said, here, I trust you with it. So basically with this young man, I knew he had a story. I knew that his story was powerful, and I knew that if people could see past what he did, then they would be blessed and impacted from his story. Now, I'm going to say this too, and this is what I was going to say about the judgmental stuff. Some of the very ones that had a problem with me interviewing him enjoyed his work. Now, you may secretly enjoy his work. You may not publicly express that you enjoyed his work. You may talk privately about how great his work is, but you enjoyed his work. But yet you want to judge him for what he did. My thing is, many of us were out there having sex with any and everybody. Honestly, that's not my testimony. If it was, I would grab hold of it and embrace it. But at least he was smart enough to do it in a manner where he was able to make money off of it. Now, some of you not going to like I said it. Oh, well, I don't care. But here's my thing about that young man. Y'all, and I'm going to tell you this, before I say that, y'all don't miss your blessing because you are distracted by what you're afraid that other people may say or other people may think. One thing about purpose is sometimes you just got to step out there and do it regardless of who's with you and who's not. I did not care who would listen to the broadcast. I just wanted him to come on. And if you listen to the first day, it was a 2-part interview. I just let him talk. I didn't interrupt him much. I just allowed him to talk to get it out. The second day, I allowed him to talk and get it out, but it was more of a conversation there. But I wanted to give him the space to be able to talk so people could see who he was. Now, for most people to stand and talk about it, right now, that interview, that 2-part interview stands as probably our most viewed show. So what I want to encourage those of you that are out there, and some of the things that you want to step out and do seem a little strange or seem like it's going to be controversial. Understand. Step out and do it. Step out and do it. You know why? Because if you're not going to be willing to reach them, and this is how I felt, if I don't show him love, if I don't embrace him for who he is, the totality of who he is, then how much better am I? And like I said, if I rocks with you, I rocks with you. And I'm going to tell you, I rocks with that young man. I rocks with him. And I'll have him on the show again. And there's other projects that I'm working on with him in mind. I want him to be a part of those projects. Why? Because somebody out there needs to hear his story. Because somebody might be heading down the same path that he's heading down or has headed down that same path and needs to understand that there is redemption and there is a way out. So you want to know why I did it? Because I wanted to. And yes, I would do it again and again and again. And he will not be the last. He may have been the first, but I promise you there will be others. So get ready to talk. Get ready to listen. But please listen from a place where you're able to grow and become or grow and develop into who you were created to be. Listen, be blessed. Again, I thank you for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode, or I'll speak to you on the next episode.
Can you identify any areas in your life where stagnation is manifesting? Now, I know some of you might say, no, I can't. Well, I want us to look at stagnation for what it really is. Some people have identified stagnation as something that's not growing or that's not producing. I don't believe that's stagnation. To me, stagnation can also be that yes, we're growing, yes, we're producing. However, we're growing and producing in a manner that's disrespectful to the purpose and the greatness that resides inside of us. And listen, we all have areas where we can identify that we could be doing a lot better in. There's greater potential in those areas than we are experiencing. And guess what? I have a tool that will help you begin to experience transformation in those areas of stagnation in your life. And that tool is called From Stagnation to Transformation. That's right. That is my book, From Stagnation to Transformation. So I want you to head over to my website, www.cliftonpettyjohn.com. I want you to hit there. I want you to hit the Transformation tab. There you're going to find a free preview of my book. That's right, a free preview of my book. And I promise you, after you read the preview, you're going to want to invest in your personal transformation through purchasing the book. So again, hit over there. Purchase the book. Let me know you purchased it. Here's what I always say, guys. If you purchase the book, you read the book, you apply the principles in your life, and yet you still are stagnant in the areas that you are applying them to, and you're not experiencing any transformation, and you can prove to me that you have applied these principles, I will give you a 100% refund. That's right, a 100% refund. Why? Because I believe in the application of the principles that are outlined in this book. So again, visit www.cliftonpettyjohn.com and purchase your copy of From Stagnation to Transformation.